What's up, everyone? Mo Nazar here, and you're watching another video of me playing Summoner's War. That's right. So these are my RTA videos on the road to Guardian. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get to that point where I can get those Guardian wings. And also, if you notice, the situation in my background is a little bit different. That's right. It's just a white wall because my wife and the family, they're breaking their fast at the moment. I mean, well, we all broke our fast together, but they're right now in the living room. You know, and it's a little bit of a family affair and stuff like that. So, you know, I gotta take the video out to the sort of like the hallway type of situation. So this is like the white wall. This is the white wall, you know. And I just wanted to wish everybody, you know, happy Ramadan and happy fasting and stuff like that. I know it's a couple of days in, but you know, yeah, it's that time of year where you know, to everybody that doesn't know, it's the time of year where Muslims fast for a month from sunrise to sunset. That's right. So during the day we don't eat breakfast, lunch, but we do eat a dinner. So you know, yeah, and I've been fasting since I was a kid. Like many Muslims, you know, we like, for me, even growing up in the States, I was already fasting then. And you know, there was always this concept of, like, you know, during the Ramadan period, whether it's literal or metaphorical, you know, they say, you know, all the demons are chained up and stuff like that, you know, so there's no voices telling you what to do. And in a way, as a concept, I guess I've always seen it as is a time for reflection. You know, I mean, if you remove that concept, like, there's nothing that would make you do anything that's bad. You know, there's nothing whispering in your ear, and you still do it, and you sort of like, oh, okay, that is just me. And then, of course, you know, after a whole month, you know, it's like one of those things where you can just reflect upon and improve yourself, you know. And you know, and one of the things that I liked, especially when I was a kid, you know, growing up in the States, you know, and you know, being a Muslim in the United States of America, you're practically a minority. You know, there's and we're usually a small community, a small neighborhood of people. So when we went to public school, you know, everybody around us will be eating. You know, I mean, we'll be the only ones fasting. When I say we, will be me and my brother. Actually, if you notice in my videos, when I say we, it's me and my brother. But yeah, so you know, growing up in the States, you know, me and my brother, we go to school and we'd be fasting. And, you know, we started at a very young age voluntarily. You know, we voluntarily did it because we wanted to try it out, you know, because we saw our parents fast as well as their friends. And the thing is, like, you know, we got the concept really young. You know, when we were very young, we definitely got the concept, and we wanted to try it out. And we knew that it was a form of self-improvement because, like, not only are you hungry, but you have to deal with a whole lot of things. Like, when you're hungry, you're practically cranky, you know, so you have to, like, manage your emotions. And usually, when you go through a whole month, it's not just about the not eating, but when you have that mindset of self-reflection, you have a better understanding of yourself, you know, and of course, on your limits. You know exactly how you would react when you're, you know, when you're absolutely hungry. And also at the same time, you get this insane feeling, and you know what it's like when your body goes through this phase after a fast where you just feel very light, and you know, and halfway through the day you're just like, oh, okay, I'm fine, you know, I don't really need to eat, you know. But essentially, you know, it's not just about the bodily functions, it's also about the emotions attached to it. But like I said, you know, I mean, we have all these conditions, all these things, because you're also supposed to refrain yourself from bad thoughts, you know, during the month of Ramadan. You know, so it's purity of heart, purity of you know, your actions, a lot of those things involved. Yeah, so it's a month filled with a lot of reflection, you know. And I definitely know that you know, for a lot of people as well, you know, it is also time for family, you know, because like most of the year, I guess you can say everybody has their own schedules and stuff like that. But like, you know, during the fasting month, during Ramadan, everybody knows, you know, there is a time to stop eating, which is, you know, like so everybody wakes up real early, and then they see each other at roughly around the same time, you know, whether they eat with each other or they communicate or something like that. But, you know, but yeah, so there's a lot more interaction, and also when you break your fast, everybody breaks their fast around the same time because everybody's hungry. So what happens is that everybody has a much closer relationship as family or even as friends, you know. I mean, it's an excuse. I want to say this excuse. Excuse is not the word, but it is an icebreaker, you know. Especially growing up, you know, sometimes when I haven't seen an old friend in a long time, and I don't want to make it awkward, I'd be like, hey, you know, I'm breaking my fast around your area. You know, you want to come along with me and break our fast? And yeah, and it's one of those, like, every day is an event. There is something to look forward to every single day, and it's an opportunity to get to know more people. And that was, I guess, my experience with growing up fasting, and the whole spirit of Ramadan. But yeah, I mean, like, leave some comments and let me know what your Ramadan experience is. For me, that was my experience growing up with fasting, and I had a lot of interesting stories and stuff like that. I mean, because the thing is, like, there's this, I guess you could say, curiosity from people who are not familiar with the concept of Ramadan. I remember growing up, and some of my classmates, they were like, "So you don't drink, or you don't eat all day," and mind you, I was doing all the things that they were doing. I was doing physical education, so we were running in the fields, playing baseball, football. I also had karate after school every Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. I mean, so I was doing everything that everybody was doing. I was going to class and stuff like that. I was even like, because especially in elementary school, you don't have a lot of, I mean, like during lunchtime, everybody's confined to the cafeteria because it's easier to manage everybody security-wise, and then lead everybody to the recess area, which is the open field. So I remember in elementary, I had to sit with everybody else that was eating, and the thing is, it was never really a problem. It was never really like, oh man, why is everybody eating and I don't get to? I mean, like, I went through, like I said, I started at a very young age, and I did it voluntarily. So it wasn't an issue. I mean, my friends would be eating their pizza, and they were like, wow, okay, and there's this sense of awe, this impressiveness, like, wow, you can really go through a whole day. Not only are you understanding your limits, but everybody's understanding like the potential of their limits, and how far they can go. And yeah, I mean, it was never really that much of an issue. I think there were some people who may or may not feel like, the same way as I do, but I think, like, you're meant to have all these adversities and problems. You're meant to be able to, like, look your senses in the eye and be like, yeah, everybody around me is eating pizza, which is one of my favorite foods in the world, but I can do this. I could totally do this, because I'm strong. I'm a strong, independent man, and I don't need food today. But yeah, that was it. Growing up in Hawaii, and I used to remember, man, I can't remember where my dojo was, but yeah, like, we would go hard, during Friday as well. Even our sensei was at one point when we first started, and it was the first time that we fasted during our karate practices. He was rather worried. He was like, so because he was worried that we would go through the training and we would like pass out, but we were just like, oh no, we don't need any water and stuff for that. And there was definitely this mode of like, he was impressed. He was just like, wow, and we went through this whole hour-and-a-half class of, do the katas and do the kumites and whatever whatnot, and then we're just sweating it out like everybody else, and it would just so happen that breaking our fast was an hour after when karate finishes. So by the time karate finishes, it's just, we drive back home, which is I think after our mom picks us up, I think it was half an hour from where we lived. So by the time we got back, it was half an hour till like, breaking fast. So it wasn't that bad. But I guess, I mean, in retrospect, seeing it from other people's perspective, I mean, that was the reason, I guess you can say, I wanted to do it. At the same time, aside from it being sort of like part of being a Muslim, it was also a chance for me to test myself. I mean, it was an opportunity to see how far I can go. I mean, because sometimes in life, you need that thing that pushes you to your limit. Some people may be like, climbing the tallest mountain or going on a journey, be it for discovery or spiritual, however it may be, and then I guess all of that is part of, what being Muslim is all about. You have 1 month where you sort of fast. I mean, so where you fast, sort of, where you do fast, and you test yourself to limits, and then of course once in a lifetime you make that, I guess you can say, epic journey to the Holy Land, and that's why every year Muslims go to Hajj, So in a way, there are these things that is associated with religion that is also a way of just testing who you are, because you never know who you are until you push yourself to the very limit. And definitely, I mean, with Ramadan, I mean, like, growing up with it, I mean, I've definitely seen and faced some challenges and stuff like that, because like who doesn't? I mean, especially growing up in a place where, like I said, I mean, when we were Muslims, we were just the minorities. You know, we weren't the majority. And I would say it's a I guess in retrospect, people say it's a challenge, but when you go through it, it's not really a challenge. You know, you just wake up and you just do your thing. You know, I mean, that's how it was. You just do your thing. You can power through. And I guess now I know where my limit's at. You know, and that has affected me in a certain way, in a positive way. You know, in terms of in terms of my outlook on life. You know, I remembered, you know, I could have followed the path that everybody chose in terms of, like, you know, studied law, which I did. I studied law, you know, become a lawyer and stuff like that. But halfway through, I decided I want to try new things in life, you know. And then I guess when you've already had this concept of self-improvement and self-reflection and, you know, setting goals and knowing the limits at which you can or cannot do, you know, whether it be in a game or in life and stuff like that, you know. And when you have these habits, I consider these very good habits. You realize that, you know, the big things could be achieved, you know, or you can at least try to, you know, and it just takes a step at a time. It takes some sort of personal resilience, you know. I mean, I do realize it went from, like, you know, Ramadan fasting to exploring thyself, but, you know, it really was. I mean, that's for me what Ramadan means for me growing up, and, you know, still, you know, the concept of it. You know, because I guess you can say I don't have many opportunities to share my views exactly. I mean, I have from time to time shared, you know, greetings and thoughts on Facebook and the word of text. But I guess, you know, since doing YouTube videos, this is an opportunity for me to sort of also go into the talkie, you know, where I can express my feelings. I don't know, it sounded cute in my head, you know. But yeah, I mean, talk it out and sort of everybody that's watching this YouTube video who also love you know, actually, that thinking about it, that probably is why I also have a strong resilience to a game like Summoner's War, where, you know, you have to, like, grind and there's a lot of thinking involved, and where the appeal comes. You know, I mean, it makes a lot of sense now. You know, this feels like a therapy section. You know, thank you everybody, thank you YouTube, thank you Reddit for giving me this awesome therapy session. But yeah, you know, but essentially, yeah, that's the mindset that I got. You know, and then, for everybody around the world, you know, who, I mean, I know right now, for example, there's a heat wave, sort of like a global heat wave going on, especially in Malaysia, you know, and it's definitely tough, you know, especially when you're fasting and then, you know, you're in the heat, and then, so all these things, you know, although it's hard, you know, it's like, it makes you stronger at the end of the day, you know, the way I look at it. It definitely does make you stronger. I mean, I know some people who like, you know, used to smoke, and then, like, for 1 month they didn't smoke, you know, and then there's that saying, you know, when you do something for 23 days, you know, it becomes a habit, you know, so they've dropped the habit of smoking, or any habit, you know. It's sort of like, you know, Ramadan is sort of like a time of spiritual growth, and also a time to fulfill a New Year's resolution at the same time, you know, because it's probably like how I think, you know, some people go through that process where they have to have a certain period where they don't have it, you know, and then Ramadan seems like the perfect time. You're like, you know, if I'm not going to eat, I might as well not smoke as well. But actually, no, you're not supposed to smoke. But what I meant, like, what I meant was, you're able to find the opportunity to fix that one thing that you knew, that New Year's resolution or that Ramadan resolution, you know. I mean, and I know some people who's like, you know, I'm going to take this period of Ramadan to lose some weight, you know, because I think intermittent fasting is a thing now in bodybuilding as well as in sports, where I don't know, you can lose body fat and you can see. I have no idea. I'm not into workouts, but I do have friends who are crazy about it, and they always get excited about Ramadan, you know, because they're like, oh my God, we can do intermittent fasting, and you know, we and apparently, you know, they love it because it's easier. You just have to plan 1 or 2 meals. I think it's like something along the lines of, they have their break fast. I'm sorry, I just had an epiphany. Breakfast. But anyways, you know, so when they break their fast, they have a certain meal, they have whatever they need, they have all their water and whatever whatnot, you know, and also at the same time, they have their food and beverage, and then they will go work out. I think that's how it is, you know, like after they eat, maybe like, I don't know, half an hour, 60 minutes. Like, again, I'm not a bodybuilder, but, you know, maybe you can let me know. Maybe I should try it out myself, you know, let's say an hour. So they wait an hour, then they go work out, and then they do their thing, you know, all their pumps and irons, you know, like the Arnold, and then they come back, and I think they have like a post-workout meal, sort of like a shake or some sort, or something along those lines. but yeah, I mean, that on people who's never experienced for someone who's never experienced Ramadan, this is what Ramadan is for the normal people. The 90% of Muslims all around the world. We're just normal people, and it is a time for us to reflect and better ourselves, really, and spend more time with family. It really is that time when we just get together. And of course, at the very end, we have a huge celebration. In Malaysia, we call it Hari Raya, or Eid in some places. So that is like not only is it the celebration of like, okay, we get to eat normally now, but it's also like when you reach a marathon, at the end of a marathon, everybody is like happy for each other. It's like, good on you. You fasted for 1 month, you controlled your desires and thoughts for 1 month. That is an achievement. It's like sort of like a marker of self-improvement. Well, anyways, my name is Mo Nazrul, so that's me and my journey to Guardian, and also me sharing about Ramadan. So to everybody else out there, happy Ramadan and happy fasting. Mo Nazrul, checking out.